fight, ma'am, and great way to bounce back. Snapped your first losing streak. You said, and you expressed quite a bit of emotion in there with Big John, talked about how you weren't sure if you still had the heart or not. What about this fight let you know that your warrior heart was still burning to fight?
It's so weird. I was telling my corners that, not that I've ever done drugs before, but I'm like, I feel like this is what drugs feel like. You do it and then you hate yourself for it, but then you want to do it again some more. And it's weird. Fighting really is a drug, you know, but in the backstage, I'm so nervous. I'm like almost in tears. I'm telling my coaches that my legs are jelly, but you know, I don't have any choice. I can't, there's no turning back. And then once you step in there, once you start fighting, it's just like, oh yeah, I love this shit. So I think it's always going to be a roller coaster of emotions for me. But I still do love the sport despite it being real shitty sometimes. I love it.
You said something about your legs feeling like jelly. How does your leg feel?
It feels great, actually. And I think that the jelly feeling was attributed to the really bad weight cut that I had. I've only felt like this once before, and that was the Vida Ortega fight, where I also had a bad weight cut and a replenishing process. So again, it's a learning experience, and I'm grateful for that experience despite losing or despite not making weight. I just know that it's a good learning experience and it'll never, ever happen again.
Wonderful. Last question for me. You said recently that you want to finish your contract and then retire. Mm-hmm. Do you want to retire as champ, or do you want to be champ again, or is testing yourself enough success?
I don't really care if I'm champ again. Of course I want to freaking retire as a champ. No, I want to retire on a losing streak. No, that's the ultimate goal, is to freaking go for it one last time. Put all my eggs in one basket and just fucking go for it. So again, my ultimate dream retiring fight would of course be in Hawaii, fighting for the belt against my girl Liz Carmouche. I love you, Liz. And this is just like the fight that's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be, you know, it's a full circle kind of fight. Liz was the first person that I encountered when I stepped foot inside the gym. We are no longer training partners anymore. We're still really good friends. We're sister wives. And I'm just like, dude, this is it. You know, this is the perfect storyline. And I know that when the day comes where we fight each other, it's going down. You know, we're gonna be freaking probably like stalking each other's Instagrams too the whole time, watching what everyone's doing. So it's gonna be fun. And I say that with the utmost respect for her.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nate.
Jason?
Hey, Ilima-Lei, yeah, you were very emotional in the post-fight interview there with Big John. Just talk to us about, I guess, what the emotions were, because this has been a long road back to finally getting that victory.
Yes, it's been a very long road. I feel like a lot of my feelings about fighting changed when I lost the belt, and I don't think it necessarily had to do with like the loss itself. But yeah, just, you know, moving on to the next chapter of my life. And as fighters and athletes, we all have a shelf life. And so, yeah, it's been a roller coaster for the last, you know, 2.5 years. But fuck, I'm way too emotional after fights. I like watch all my interviews afterwards. I'm like, you look so dumb. I have an ugly crying face. So I need to work on that. But yeah, this fight game is such an emotional roller coaster, and that's what I mean by like, I don't know if my heart's in it anymore, but that win definitely helped me realize that it's still there.
And as well, you say, obviously, this is a learning process. I know it's just, you just stepped out of the cage, but what did you learn about yourself in this fight, Ilima-Lei?
That I'm comfortable on my feet, and I don't know why I try to get it to the ground all the time, because I feel like I can punch really hard, and like it's fun. Striking is honestly fun. I can punch hard and I can take a hit. You know, she was throwing, I was throwing. I've fucking walked through Velasquez's flying knee that broke my nose, like shattered my nose, and I still walked through it. You know, like I can take a hit. I have dense ass Polynesian bones. I have a huge ass chin that like withstands a lot of hard hits. So striking's fun, and I learned that as long as I'm patient, then the ground will come. And yeah, just big shout out to my striking coach, Bill Crawford. He's worked with me since the beginning, and Prince Tiger Smalls, they worked with me on my striking since the beginning, and I'm really proud with how far I've come. You guys should see me when I first tried striking. I couldn't even hold mitts. So yeah, I think I've come a long way thanks to those guys.
And last thing for me, I know in the pre-fight interview you said you had a big kind of entrance, kind of like what you do in Hawaii, set for here. I don't know if you got to do it, but can you kind of go into detail? Because I know how important it is for you on native issues here that you're in South Dakota tonight.
Absolutely. Oh man, it was kind of heartbreaking, but we had planned a big walkout. It would be a ceremonial walkout with a lot of my Native American girls and my First Nations girls who all went through my foundations program and my women's retreat, and they all came out. There was probably 10 of them that went through the program and went through the Eliminator Scholarship, who all came to support me. And they were dressed in regalia. They were going to dance me out, and we had signs made for all of our stolen sisters for the missing and murdered Indigenous women movement. We had signs with their pictures and their names on it, and we were going to walk out in honor of them. Unfortunately, the venue rules said that fighters couldn't walk out with anybody. So I had to tell them right before the fight that it wasn't going to be allowed. But I saw all of their beautiful faces in the crowd. And shout out a big wopila to all of my sisters, my aunties, the mothers, all of the women that came to support me from Indian country. Thank you so much. I love you guys. We're going to go get pizza after this.
All right. Thank you very much, Ilima-Lei.
Thank you, Jason.
Luis?
Hello, Miles Morales from MMA Pit. So you came off the first losing streak of your career, and now back on track. And weight aside, you just said that those retirement thoughts are at a distance now. But where did they come from at first place?
I think that the injuries were getting really tough. I've actually fought the majority of my career, actually the entirety of my career, I fought with a bad knee. This was a knee injury that I sustained back in high school, which actually took me out of sports. I didn't think I was ever going to play sports again. I had 2 surgeries when I was in high school on the same knee, and it kind of like plagued me throughout my career, but I was winning. And, you know, even though despite hurting at every single camp or fight, I just refused to get it looked at because I didn't want to, you know, face reality that, you know, I might have to get surgery, or I might have to stop fighting. So after I lost the belt, I got to reevaluate everything and just be like, look, I don't have the belt anymore. Now's the time to fix the knee. Unfortunately, that surgery that I had last year, it didn't really help that much, or at least it helped, but then we realized that it wasn't what I needed. I basically need a new ACL, and I just don't know if I want to go through a major surgery like that and have to come back to fighting. So that's why retirement was on the horizon for me, just because the injuries, you know, the neck injury and the Kish fight, and the knee mainly. So that's why, but I honestly felt really good this fight, and the knee wasn't an issue. The neck wasn't an issue. So yeah, those are the only reasons.
Jay?
Ilima-Lei, congrats on the win tonight. I wanted to start with the, you know, talk about your contract and, you know, retiring at the end of it. Can you just confirm how many fights you have left on your deal?
Yes, I believe I have. Actually, I don't know. I just know it's a couple, but I don't know. I have to double check.
So at least presumably 1 or 2 before the title opportunity would come.
Yeah, I think I have at least something like that. Yeah. Good
stuff. And the guillotine in the 3rd round that she had you in, it looked close there for a bit. How tight was it?
It was tight. It was a little to like ruffle my feathers, but it wasn't enough to make me tap. Like I would have probably gone unconscious before tapping to that. So I will say it ruffled my feathers a little bit, but I was probably more concerned with my ass showing because I could see it on the big screen. And so I was just like, of course, the one fight that I don't wear underwear in, and only because I forgot it, not because it was like on purpose, but I forgot my underwear at the hotel room. The one fight, my ass would show in it. So you're welcome, everybody that saw it.
So, and thank you so much for explaining that, because it was going to be my next very awkward question as to whether there was some kind of advantage or comfort or something.
Yeah, shout out to Duke and the camera crew for zooming in, not on the ass. I could see the ass coming out, and then I saw the camera change angles so that it wouldn't show it. So shout out to the awesome camera staff with Bellator. But yeah, I mean, I had the Von Flute in, but I saw the pants coming down. So I'm like, all right, do I let go of this Von Flute to fix my pants, or do I just go for it? So, but again, shout out to the camera crew for fixing the angle.
And one last one for me. I know you have mentioned going over to Dublin and also to Italy to support those events. Have you thought about a time frame for you getting back in there and actually fighting?
Yeah, you know, well, before the missed weight and everything, I was like, yeah, if I come out of this fight unscathed, and I'm gonna ask to get on the Bellator or the Dublin card, where I was like thinking some crazy thoughts and like, yeah, maybe I could fight like 2 more times before the end of the year. But then the weight cut came and it was terrible, and then I was like, my body's like definitely not ready. And I think that I had a really tough time with the cut because I didn't allow myself enough rest from my last fight. And so, yeah, my body it needs to rest. It needs to heal. I think timeline wise, I probably won't fight again till next year. And, you know, especially going to Dublin and Milan, I already booked food tours for that. So I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to fight again before the end of the year. So yeah, definitely going to be sometime next year, you know, maybe the springtime if we go back to Hawaii.
Tyler?
Congratulations on the win. I was just curious. So with your knee, obviously you don't want to do that major surgery. So what do you do to kind of alleviate the pain to make it more manageable?
I think with the knee, I definitely have to rehab it really, really good. You know, I really have to take this time off to focus on the strengthening aspect of it. It's very unstable because of the ACL, and it's an old ass ACL. It's like 17 years old. And so, yeah, I have to rehab, strengthen, and again, just kind of go from there, be smart about my training and be smart about keeping the weight off too. You know, a lot of trouble, you know, if I get big in the off season, then I have to work twice as hard to get the weight off. And that means more running, more impact on the knee. And so I think I just overall have to be smarter about my training and physical therapy. I have the best physical therapist in the world. Shout out to ES3 PT, Dr. C and Renee them and Heather them. They're the best team in the world for my physical therapy. So that's what I'll do starting Monday.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you, sir.
Ken?
Kay Williams for Ken Chronicles Media. Congratulations on the win. So in terms of legacy, how would you like to be remembered in the sport of MMA?
I want to be remembered in the sport of MMA as being a good person. I think that I don't want to I just want to be a good person. And I want to be somebody that my team and my coaches are proud of and my parents are proud of, and somebody that uses my platform for good. There's enough negativity and shitty things in this world, and there's enough trash talk and shit talkers and just putas. So I just want to be a good person. And my coaches are laughing. That's what my legacy. I want my legacy to be, and to always fight for doing what's right.
Congratulations on the win. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ilima.
Thank you. Shout out to Rain.